On tonight's CTV News, Christchurch's Youth Council wants a bigger say when it comes to decisions for the city. Crusader captain Kieran Reid prepares for his 100th game of rugby, and a mini hero receives a special medal for his bravery. This is CTV News, I'm Grant Mangan. The Anglican Diocese is publicly criticising the group, stopping them from demolishing the quake-damaged Christchurch Cathedral. They say the Great Christchurch Building Trust's review omitted the facts and ignores the escalating cost.
The church property trustees criticised the Great Christchurch Building Trust, co-chaired by former ministers Jim Anderton and Philip Burden, claiming its review of the estimates provided to the church by quantity surveyor David De Heer were unsubstantiated. The church's report from Homes Engineering last month indicates there isn't one section of the building that's been left undamaged. They say the building is still deteriorating due to the issues of weathering and infestation. The Wizard of Canterbury says this is no wonder, as the building has been left completely exposed to the elements, with no covering whatsoever. The church property trustee says although professionals agree it is feasible to strengthen and repair the building, no practical solution has been found that will give a sufficient level of worker safety and will satisfy SERA's requirements. The Court of Appeal ruled last July the church property trustees hold the Cathedral Square land and buildings on trust for the purpose of having a cathedral on site. There is no specified design or any need to keep the cathedral as it is. They say in the surveys and public consultations, the majority of the public supported a contemporary design for the future cathedral.
One of architecture's most prestigious international awards has been given to the man responsible for Christchurch's cardboard cathedral. Siguri Ban was named yesterday as the winner of the 2014 Pritzker Architecture Prize.
The 56-year-old Tokyo-born architect will receive his award for the cathedral in Amsterdam on the 13th of June. The award will recognise his work creating community buildings for disaster victims worldwide. Over the past 20 years, he's worked in places hit by natural and man-made disasters, creating low-cost, simple, recyclable shelters. The $5.3 million transitional Anglican cathedral opened to the public last year, incorporating 98 beams encased in cardboard and seats for 700 people. Mr. Barnes says the Pritzker Prize is a great honour. He says he'll continue to listen to the people for whom he works in his private residential commissions and in his disaster relief. The Dean of Christchurch, Linda Patterson, says the transitional cathedral receives 40,000 visitors a month. The prize comes with a grant of $100,000.
The Court of Appeal has overturned a decision by a judge giving an insurance company the unrestricted right to choose how it settled a Christchurch earthquake claim.
Last August, the Christchurch High Court ruled that Tower Insurance could settle a red zone Burwood property dispute by paying the amount it would cost to buy a house elsewhere. But as reported in today's Christchurch Press, Skywood Aviation 2008 appealed that decision because Tower's repair settlement offer of $165,000 was based on the fact a similar house excluding land could be bought for $365,000. The rest of the settlement came from an EQC payout in the purchase of the land. EQC paid $203,000, the Crown paid $291,000. But Skywood submitted a repair cost totalling $682,000. That's a difference of more than $300,000. Tower argued in court that paying the cost of a similar house was the most economic option. The Court of Appeal then found Tower reserved the right to cash settle or reinstate the house and was only required to pay the costs of rebuilding on site. But it disagreed with a High Court ruling that Tower had the right to decide whether to reinstate on the existing site, buy another house or rebuild elsewhere. The Court of Appeal found it was wrong of the High Court to decide any replacement house purchased by the insurer had to be comparable to the existing house. The lawyer representing Skywood told the press, this case shows Tower can't pay Christchurch claimants based on the cost of a home elsewhere.
CityCare says it is announcing a half-year profit of $5.73 million. The council-owned company responsible for the city's roads, parks, facilities, water waste and stormwater networks says it's a satisfactory profit.
The council-owned company posted a profit of $2.8 million out of a revenue of $381 million for the year to June 2013. This came after spending $25 million on plant and equipment and on hiring 706 new staff to replace 400 who'd left and to build up resources for the rebuild. The decision cost dearly, with an 83% fall in profit from $16.5 million the year before. CityCare says the company now has the right amount of work for the resources it has, and it was just replacing the staff who'd left. The company has approximately 1,000 employees in Christchurch and a further 600 nationwide, where it takes on contracts for several councils and private businesses. This year's half-year result was nearly $1.5 million higher than budgeted, which came from a turnover of nearly $183 million. CityCare says they are on track to achieve a $10.8 million profit for the full year. They say they've resolved a number of underperforming contracts.
A local youth organisation has spent years trying to find a permanent base. Last night they officially opened the doors on a place that the city's youth can call home. Emma Cropper was there.
Last time CTV News caught up with the White Elephant Trust, the doors had barely opened on their property. The space was still an open book for what it could be used for, and this large room was still filled with boxes and shelves.
It's my dream that I don't know what's going to happen in here this year, that young people bring that with them.
And they did. The official opening of the space last night was buzzing with local youth making the most of the area.
It's been a long journey for us since creation, and we're just super privileged to be able to say that, like, here it is now.
It's wonderful, really good.
But the spaces are far and few between in Christchurch.
Particularly for young people to be creative, to express themselves, and I think places like this that have opened today are so well needed.
The White Elephant Trust was first set up by 6 aspiring DJs 8 years ago. Ever since, it's evolved to work with youth in the community, providing them with their own outlet in Christchurch.
If I was more of an emotional dude, I'd probably cry about it or like have a tear, and that's how I feel inside, is like that it's a really special time. Not really for me, but for what I wanted to do for the young people for Christchurch, you know, so I wanted to be able to provide a room for them that they could do what they wanted in, and here it is.
But the space isn't fully funded. They still need a further $50,000 a year to keep it open.
It could give us a real chance to sort of set up the space and make sure that it's here for young people in the future, which is really important to us.
The building is open to all youth in Christchurch, but there's still some areas that will develop in time. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Christchurch's Youth Council is pushing to work closer together with local community boards and the Christchurch City Council. Marcus Gibbs reports.
Christchurch is changing rapidly. It's no longer the city it was before the earthquakes. Residents are facing so many different issues: insurance, housing and the rebuild of a city. Christchurch's Youth Council wants to have their say. They're meeting with the city's community board starting next week with the aim of boosting relationships.
So the community board deputation's pretty much just to say that we're here and we're really keen to start an active dialogue with them.
The Youth Council wants to have a bigger say in rebuild decisions.
Really keen to get youth voice on all levels, so the key anchor projects especially, but with the land use recovery plans we've had a lot of input into that, and just general zoning, just any issue that requires youth input, which is every issue.
The Christchurch Youth Council was set up in the 1990s within the Christchurch City Council. In the late 90s, the decision was made by stakeholders to remove the Youth Council from the City Council and place it within an umbrella organisation. For the last 3 years, the 16-member Youth Council has resided under the White Elephant Trust. Christchurch City Councillor Yanni Johansson was a member of the Youth Council back when it was part of the Christchurch City Council. He would like to see the two councils working together on future projects.
Having a youth council is really important, and it's about youth development as well as youth participation.
Former Mayor Sir Bob Parker has been pushing for the two councils to work closer together since this interview in December 2012.
I'm a great supporter of the youth council idea. It's something that we should strengthen. The time has come for us to make sure that those young voices are clearly heard and that they know that, you know, what are the decisions that are being made that they could have input to.
Now it looks like that vision might finally be realised. Councillor Johansson says youth have a lot to offer the city.
And I think it's incredibly important that their ideas, their views, their input into decisions is taken into account and not just listened to, but actually given action to.
He says he doesn't want to see them left out when the city rebuilds.
Young people are going through a lot of change. They're going through a really difficult time in our city at the moment, and I think it's really important that we have spaces and places where they can express themselves, where they can come together and socialise.
Going forward, the Youth Council wants to be heard.
To be quite frank, up till now it's been a lot of tokenist attempts. We're slowly moving forward with our dialogues with the Keystone organisations, which is great. We would love to see young people at the table making decisions alongside them rather than handsy to one side.
The Youth Council will meet with the Fendleton Community Board this Monday. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Coming up, a mini superhero gets a special medal for his bravery.
G'day, this is Fletch, your presenter of the TV show Classic Restos. It's the show where it's your chance to see completed restorations being shown, driven and enjoyed.
The home show sale is on. Hi, Mike from Four Seasons. We have the largest range of gas and wood burners on display. All wood burners and gas fires are heavily reduced. Save up to $1,300 on fire and flue packages. The home show sale at Four Seasons Home and Leisure, Tower Junction Mega Centre.
Have you seen something you like? You can purchase a copy of CTV's own shows so you can watch them again and again. So give us a call on 3777 033 and order a copy today.
Christchurch has its very own enchanted utopia, the Hitching Post. Pop in and see for yourself. A magical assortment of handmade creations, custom-made candles and artwork. Choose from our huge range of water features, garden art and imported giftware. Specialists in handcrafted metal artwork made in store. Nestled on 722 Marshlands Road, the Hitching Post, defining art our way.
3799799. Remember the nights, your Blue Star.
Our new companion package is a personalised service for those that need extra help and support. A cost-effective solution for someone who needs more than just a taxi driver. Our drivers are handpicked from our experienced team and specialise in providing the right support and companionship. Home safe every time with Blue Star Taxis.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to Carpet Kingdom. At Carpet Kingdom we stock a massive range of carpets and we're also the largest vinyl stockist in the South Island. And not only do we have an excellent range in store, but you can purchase our stock online. We offer free measuring quotes, we have our own installation team, we ship nationwide, so come on down and see us at Carpet Kingdom. 312 Wilsons Road in Waltham, just off Brougham Street, or visit us online at carpetkingdom.co.nz.
Coming up next week on Lynch, Labour's housing spokesperson Phil Twyford will join me. That's Lynched CTV 8:30 on Monday.
The earthquake has seen the rise of many quirky characters in the city, but no one's been more recognised than Christchurch's very own superhero. Today, Flatman was sharing the love not only with Cantabrians, but making an outing special for one young boy.
You did, didn't you?
It's every boy's dream to spend the day with a real superhero, and Flatman has made that possible for one New Zealander. Phoenix Matthews has chronic eczema, which means he's bandaged from head to toe when the condition flares up.
This little boy had made him go into a little shell, and he would walk in public and anybody stares, he'll start going like this and backing back.
So this 5-year-old wears all his favourite superhero costumes, from Superman to Batman and Spider-Man.
The superhero costumes, the superheroes out there have lifted up, make him feel good and takes his mind off what's happening.
But today he's dressed as his favourite, Christchurch's very own hero, Flatman.
And he goes, "Look, Grandma, Grandpa, he's a superhero and his name is Flatman and he looks just like me." And instantly we saw his demeanour and his self-worth lift, and it's all thanks to Flatman.
Phoenix first saw the wonder of Flatman on TV following his rise from the ashes after the earthquakes. Now he's making the trip to the Garden City a special day for one little boy, starting with a private party at the Christchurch City Council and presentation of his very own hero medal.
I didn't think it was going to be such an emotional thing as it was. Like when they came out, there was tears. Like I gave the grandma a big hug, and it's really cool. And he's come out of his shell, obviously, and it's just a really cool thing to do.
He even organised Christchurch's very own Justice League to meet Phoenix at the airport yesterday, and he's organised a day of clip and climb, a trip to the Antarctic Centre, and limo rides around Canterbury.
He's kind of part of that whole
kind of awesome giving that is part of Christchurch that I so love. And the fact that he's brought somebody down and just made an amazing day for them is just so lovely. Of course you'd want to be part of that.
It's just about sort of reaching out, and it's just kind of, you know, whatever you're going through personally, someone else is going through a lot more. And I think this is a real true evidence of that.
And within the blink of an eye, the pair were off to share the love around Canterbury. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Latest census figures show the Waimakariri district tops the list when it comes to people occupying their own home.
More than 4 out of 5 households are occupied by the owners in the Waimakariri. That's a higher figure than anywhere else in New Zealand. The new census data puts Waimakariri's home ownership rate at 80%. The national average is just under 65%. There's now a strong trend of South Islanders out-owning North Islanders. The Samhain and Timaru districts also recorded high levels of home ownership. As the Christchurch Press reports, Lincoln University senior property lecturer Lawrence Hill is putting Waimakariri's high figure down to a settled population, a rural-based economy and a higher percentage of older residents. Christchurch's homes are more expensive, which has led to more people buying in the Waimakariri. Less competition from landlords has also helped to keep first home prices down. The earthquakes have meant the Waimakariri has experienced a large amount of home building, despite home ownership falling across the country. Nearby Ashburton has had the largest drop in home ownership. A decrease from 72% in the last census to just 67% last year puts it at the bottom of the list. This can be put to more people moving to Ashburton to rent following the earthquakes.
Supporters of a cycleway plan for Christchurch are upset the plan has been pushed back for another 3 years. The $69 million network of cycleways was first due to be built within 5 years, but has been delayed due to the council's financial position. Former Christchurch City Councillor Aaron Kewen was pushing to get the program underway. He told the Christchurch Press he was disgusted it was being pushed out of the council's plans. Cycling lobby group spokesman Spokes Canterbury are also not happy with the delay. Chairman Keith Turner says it would be disappointing if it takes longer than 5 years to complete. Christchurch City Council staff don't want to rush the cycleways. Instead, the aim is to build something that would encourage the 30% of the community who've indicated they would consider cycling if it was safer to get on their bikes. Here's Patrick Phelps with the backstory of the council's decision.
The proposed change in the timeframe is in the Council's 2014-2015 draft annual plan. The Council says practical delivery considerations, rather than financial concerns, are behind the proposed timeframe extension. The previous Council made the call to include the money for a network in the 3-year plan quite late in the piece, and it became clear in the intervening months delivering all the projects within the specified 3-year frame was impractical. They want to ensure the cycleway is as good as it can be, and that will take longer than 3 years. Cycling lobby group Spokes Canterbury appreciates the council is in a bad situation financially, but they're disappointed the network may take longer than 5 years to complete. Spokes would like to see it built as soon as possible.
Coming off a bye last weekend, the Canterbury Crusaders will clash with the Hurricanes this Friday here in Christchurch. The game will see number 8 Kieran Reid play his 100th game for the red and black side. Sports reporter Patrick Phelps with the story.
Training down here at Rugby Park today as the Crusaders prepare for a game with the Hurricanes in which both sides need a win. Coach Todd Blackadder says they're hoping the referees will see sense in governing the scrums this game.
2 reset scrums, if the referee can't make a decision on it, is roughly about 2 minutes. Well, what we're roughly seeing is about 5 minutes in every game is about resets, and you know, there's no advantage to putting the ball in anymore, nor should it be because it is a contestable, but you know, with holding the pressure there for 4 seconds means it's going to, you know, just one little pressure point, someone lets off somewhere and it's a collapse, so it's sort of almost negating what it set out to achieve.
Coach Blackadder says as the season goes on, the health and safety of the front row needs to be watched.
It'll be really interesting, but you know, it's all you know, crystal ball gazing really, but you know, those forwards are down there for 4 seconds under pressure. It'll be really interesting to see what it's like later in the competition. There's a lot of pressure on the upper body around their necks and also too around their feet and plantar fascia, like holding that amount of pressure for 4 seconds. I just hope there's not a lot of injuries down the track.
A focal point this week will be Kieran Reid's entry into the 100 club. Coach Todd Blackadder says Kieran still has potential to grow as a player.
think it's a little bit like Richie, like Richie was you could see enormous potential when he's a young player, and as he got older, he's just like a fine wine, he's just got better and better, and I think that comes with experience. And what we've probably seen from Rita in the last couple of years is that he could be a centre, he could play it in the backs. He's a big guy, he's dynamic, he's great at offloading.
Kieran Reid says going into his 100th game, his side's prepared to go up against a hungry Hurricanes side.
It's hard, you probably look at patches of their game and they're top class, and certainly at the end of the game last week they showed exactly what they can do, so we've got to be wary of that and try and negate their attacking flair.
Kick-off is just after 7:30 this Friday night. Patrick Phelps, CTV News.
Still to come, a roundup of news from around the Canterbury region.
Every Monday night I'll take you out and about around the region's ANP shows from Cheviot to Temuka. You'll meet the exhibitors, have a look at the sheep and cattle and horses, and also have a look at what people have been producing. Rob's Country Showtime, 8:30 on a Monday night, CTV.
Is this your year to upgrade your existing interior? Then head into Bathroom and Flooring Warehouse for the latest styles in European vanities, showers and baths, all at affordable prices. Bathroom and Flooring Warehouse also stock a large selection of carpets and vinyl for all your flooring needs. To view our full range, head into 159 Waterloo Road, Hornby, or visit bathroomandflooring.co.nz.
Missed a show or want to watch it again? CTV is fitting in with your lifestyle. Be in control with CTV On Demand. Check out our website and follow the links. ctv.co.nz.
Hi, I'm Caitlin, the naturopath here at Staywell Pharmacy. Working with the pharmacist, I use herbal and nutritional medicine to recommend natural alternatives for your health. This can be to counteract any side effects of your medication, general health advice, or natural options for you and your family. I'm also available for consultations. So come in and see us at Staywell Pharmacy, 27 Shands Road, Hornby. Staywell Pharmacy, live well, stay well.
Avoid the monkeys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options are also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring moving company. Oi!
Join us this weekend as we bring you all the stories that captivated us over the past week. CTV Newsweek in Review, Saturday and Sunday at 5, only on CTV.
Our weekly regional roundup focuses on stories coming from North and Mid-Canterbury.
This week's news from around the region. Marie Lawler of Ashburton was stunned when the American rockers Bill Haley Jr. and the Comets came into her Heinz store, the Merino Story. This came after she had seen the band the night before at the Theatre Royal in Timaru. After the show, they met the stars and asked them to call in when they passed. Marie says she didn't really think the band would call in. Outgoing Ashburton water boss Matthew Hall is calling the Heinz River a disgrace and warns the water in Canterbury will need to be well managed. He's been replaced by Donna Field, a Rakaia Gorge farmer. Matthew Hall also says farm nitrate levels will need to be well managed. And we have a big weekend coming up in Geraldine with the Future Living Festival. It'll feature a forum on fresh water, a magical lantern walk and a host of workshops on good environmental practices. Looking north, a big weekend for seabirds, which coincides with the departure of the Huttons shearwater from the shores of Kaikoura and is planned for the 5th and 6th of April. And that's it for the regional roundup.
And for more about those stories, be sure to check out tomorrow's editions of the Ashburton Courier and the news in North Canterbury. Well, with so many changes taking place on central city roads, it's not hard to get frustrated. Fortunately, CTV's traffic update will advise you on the fastest way to your destination.
As always, there are a number of traffic restrictions in the city that will impact on travel times during peak hours. This week, work on Chewham Street between Durham and Colombo Streets will begin. This will restrict traffic heading east. Colombo Street between Litchfield and Chewham Street will also be restricted to one-way southbound only for this week. At the same time, Manchester Street is flowing southbound only between Chewham and St Asaph Streets. From the south, use Montreal Street, turn right into Litchfield to access Manchester and Colombo Streets. And from the north, use Durham Street and then turn left into Litchfield or Chewham. Don't forget to check back in on CTV News first at 5 to get the latest updates on the many changes that are happening. And remember to check the website Transport for Christchurch for further updates.
And finally tonight, let's check out your regional weather.
Kia ora Canterbury, let's take a look at your local weather. Starting off down south, Timaru, Temuka and Geraldine, a mild day of 15. Hope you've had a wonderful Wednesday, Ashburton and Methven, 15 degrees today. Nice day at the Rakaia River, 15. As we head to Darfield, Leaston and Ralston, no change for you, 15 degrees. Heading over towards the big city, Lincoln, 15, Christchurch, you're the same, 15. Over in Akaroa, a comfortable day also of 15 degrees. Heading across the Waimakariri River, Rangiora and Kaiapoi 15 degrees, and as we move along State Highway 1 to Amberley, 15. Always stealing the warm weather in the Hurunui, Culverden, Hanmer Springs 16 degrees, Cheviot 16. And at the top in Kaikoura, 15. Looking forward to tomorrow in Timaru, your weather will be better than today. Clear skies after a cold start with northeasterly winds developing during the day. Tomorrow's high 18, but wrap up warm at night time. You're hitting a low of 1. Jack Frost will be hitting Ashburton on Thursday. Fine and sunny at mid-Canterbury with low frosts around dawn, but pleasant afternoon temperatures. Tomorrow's low 1, tomorrow's high 18 degrees. Cold weather is expected to hit Christchurch as well. Cold in the early morning, but becoming milder during the day with plenty of sunshine and the usual northeasterly sea breezes. Tonight's low 1, tomorrow's high 18. Kaikoura, wrap up warm if you're heading out to check out the seals. Fine and sunny with northeasterly winds developing throughout the day. Tonight's low 2, tomorrow's high 18. And looking at the other areas, Temuka and Geraldine, fine for most parts of the day, a chilly 0 overnight and a high of 19. To the west of Canterbury Plains, 0 degrees overnight, a high of 18. Rakaia, a low of 1, a high of 18. Leaston and Darfield will be fine for most parts of the day with a high of 18 degrees. Ralston and Lincoln, a low of 1 and a high of 18. Idea to swim with the Dolphins in Akaroa with a high of 18 and a low of 3. In North Canterbury, Rangiora and Kaiapoi, expect a low of 1 and a high of 19. And in the Hurunui, they have the warmest weather, a low of 0, but they have the high of 20 degrees. And for the following days in Canterbury, mostly fine and sunny on Friday and Saturday with sunny periods and high cloud, moderate northeasterly winds and pleasant temperatures. Mostly fine with high cloud from Sunday through to Tuesday and moderate northeasterlies. Temperatures are about average for this time of the year, with areas of fog possible at night. That's all for your Wednesday's weather. Have a lovely evening.
And that's CTV News for Wednesday. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.